Alright, welcome to our user interactions lab. So let's start to create our project. New project. We use the class library .NET framework. Let's call this as user interaction. Okay. Alright, so let's get rid of this class file. We'll just create our own. And let us all reference the three .NET APIs. Okay, these are the AC Core MGD, ACDB MGD, and AC MGD. Okay, and let's make sure that the copy local property is set to false. Alright, now let's create a new class. Let's add a new class. And let's call this as user interactions class. This is where we're going to write all our methods. Let's get rid of this predefined namespace or preloaded namespaces. Let's create our own autodesk.autocad.application services. Next one is using autodesk.autocad.database services. The other one is using autodesk.autocad.runtime. Also, we use the editor input. And let's just add the geometry, as we will be using that for our later methods. Okay, so now we have all our required namespaces here. So the first method that we're going to create, it's just a simple method that uses the getString, so that you can have an idea on how to use the getString without interacting with the AutoCAD objects yet. So let's get started. Let's create a method called getName using getString. But we have to specify here our command method. In this case, we'll just call it getName. Now, first off, as always, we need to get hold of the document object. So document, let's call it doc application dot document manager dot mdi document. So here's the very important object, editor. So let's declare edt as our editor. It comes from document.editor. This is where all of the user interaction commands come from. So now let's prompt the user. So there is one one object called prompt string options. So to use that, we just have to type in prompt string options. let's just call this as prompt equals new prompt string options. Let's just prompt the user to enter your name. Okay, and then this prompt here has some properties as well. Prompt that allows spaces, let's set it to true, which means that they can enter their first and last name. Now we need to get the results of the user input using another object using a prompt result. So we have to declare prompt result. Let's just call this as result equals, this is now the get string comes into the picture. So edt, the doc.editor that gets string, and then the parameter is prompt. Okay, prompt options, prompt string options, this one here. Now we need to validate if there is a string that the user enters. So to do that, result.status equals prompt status.OK. If it's OK, means there is a value in the string in here. So we can store that in a name variable, string name, and we can get it from the result from here, result that string results. Alright, so now we have the name. So all we have to do now is just write message to the user. Let's just hello there, then concatenate the name. So that's one way of providing feedback to the user. Another one, we can use the application that, remember this show alert dialog, then just type in your name is whatever, and name. So if there is an input, we execute this code block. Otherwise, if there's nothing that's entered by the user, then we can just display a message that no name entered. Or we can do the same thing here, application that show dialog, no name entered. Alright, so that's about it. So the takeaway here is all the get functions come from the document editor here. So if we put in a dot here, you can see all of these get functions. Alright, and also these prompt results, prompt string options. The AutoCAD.NET API uses lots of these different prompt objects. Okay, then we store the result from the prompt result object, and we extract it from there. And there's this prompt status, which has many different either cancel or error or some other values. Alright, so now let's save our project and build the solution. Okay, successful. Let us load now in AutoCAD. Okay, so this is our plugin. Now we should have the get name. It's not showing, so let me just do a little bit of debugging here. Okay, let's try. It's not showing. Okay, I've checked the code, and the reason for that is we missed the public here, which means that this, without the public keyword here, it is treated as private and nobody can see it. Okay, so now let's save our project. Since we have loaded it already, it might not be loaded again. It will cause an error. Let's just do another rebuild here. Okay, and then let's open up AutoCAD one more time. Okay, so now let us load our plugin. This is our plugin. Let's try our method. Get name. There you go. Enter your name. Let's say John Doe. Your name is John Doe, and here we have hello there, John Doe. So that's what the allow space for. You can enter the first and last name. If we just type in John, hello there, John. Your name is John. Okay, so that's about it for the get string. In the next lab, we will still be using the get string, but we will now apply it into AutoCAD. We will explore some of the layers and ask the user to input some of those layers. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.